Welcome, Street Rats, to Night City. I'm the one and only Moxie 11, bringing you slightly biased news footage from the fourth wall. Gojira completed the latest job without bloodshed, though Kami has one hell of a mind spike. Rex has just given us all pay and the car for a job well done, so Cass takes the car to bring her home so she can get some rest. While at home, they talk about the job, Kami asking Cass if he thinks Wraith and I would have acted differently if we'd known more about the person in the trunk, if the person hadn't been a Tiger Claw. Cass says he doesn't know, but does say if it had been a child, he would have stopped us. Kami admits that she wasn't prepared for all this, for him to stick around, and us to become a group. She says the state of the world is Johnny Silverhand's fault, and when Cass says it's the corp's fault, she tells him a bit of her backstory, explaining about her junkie mom and life on the streets. That when her mom OD'd, she was picked up by a corporate sponsor. She had an education and lived a good life. Cass admits that it was because of the corpse he was trained how to fight. Her point seemingly made, she heads to bed as Cass returns to the bar. However, over at Frank's, Wraith and I have been chatting. I ask him about rehab, so we can get him back to it. He tells me he used to go to single-star rehab, and after some research, I learned it's downtown south of Central City. Completely voluntary. A shame, as now Wraith is saying he'll need to be on drugs for a few months due to the songs and things he has in the works. I gave him the logical response that money for rehab is less than money for drugs, and when he realises we have no job set up, now would be a really good time for him to go. I agree, and he asked for one last night of fun. Whether I was going to give him the hit or not remains a mystery, as a 6'2" tall person enters the bar, talking to Frank, buying a drink for Wraith, and sitting in the booth with us. Wraith greets him as though he's an old friend, while he has no idea who he is. Eventually, we learn the name is Kenna, and he's looking for Rico. When he mentions the name, Wraith flashes. Kenna's face becomes Rico's in the moment Wraith shot him. Devastated, Wraith hugs Kenna, apologizing profusely, while Kenna looks to me. The only explanation I give is that Wraith is on glass, before asking him why he's looking for Rico. The flash ends as Kenna explains. It's not really Rico he's looking for, but his sister Jenny, who's dating Rico. He shows us a photo, and a text that he has, and that's all he's got to go off of. I apologize, tell him I'm sorry. As far as I know, Jenny's dead, and show him the news report that had the list of names of the deceased from the Vigil concert. Kenna says it's impossible for her to be dead, as the text he got from her is dated after the news report, which makes me think she's either still alive or someone's trying to get Kenna to exposed and be killed, much like Angus. Kenna doesn't seem to care, and if he's going by himself and risking his own life, I don't mind giving him the information, as much as I think it's a bad plan and he should wait a few hours while we get some sleep. After all, it is around 4 AM at this point, and we're exhausted. Wraith, of course, wants to help his new best friend, and Cass, who had returned from dropping off Kami, gets caught up and remains mostly quiet about the situation. I give Kenna the address to Jenny's place, an apartment building called Lorenzo's, that some quick research tells me has a guard dog and camera security. While I continue to talk to Kenna about waiting, or at least sitting and staking out the place, Wraith exits the booth, stealthily making his way outside. I don't see him, but Cass does, and when he tells me, and doesn't make a move, I go to follow Wraith, not trusting him on his own while he's coming down from the drugs. Cass and Kenna decide to follow, and I tell Kenna once more he can't help her if he's dead. Then I head to my cube, publishing my story about the cover-up, setting my agent to Blair if any of them call, and get some sleep. Wraith has shockingly listened to me, and also gone to his cube, but it seems Cass was the one I need to watch, as after tons of pleading, Kenna convinced him to join him in a stakeout at Lorenzo's. While they drive in our still newly stolen car, Cass notices a cyan vehicle with a tiger painted on the hood following them. Lucky for them, as he pulls into Little Europe, Marlborough territory, the assumed tiger claws don't follow. At Lorenzo's, they don't stake out the place. No, they exit the car, leaving it a few blocks away to walk around the building. Kenna wants to talk to some homeless, but Cass says he needs sleep. And as they head to the car in the early hours of the morning, they run into a booster gang. 2 of the gang members peel off to flank, and after a not-so-good conversation with the leader, a fight breaks out. Cass was ready, and before the leader can get in his hit, manages to clock him with a single punch, snapping his neck. None of the other gang members are fazed, and 2 start shooting, while the third draws a blade and attacks Cass. The boys manage to hold their own, but after taking a couple hits, Kenna runs off and an injured Cass follows him, leaving our new car abandoned on the street with the booster gang. They flee and hide in a dumpster, sounds of sirens in the background, and for some reason, they call me to do what? I don't know. What I do know is that I'm taking a cab to Lorenzo's to get the car back, if it's still there. If not, someone's paying me for my share of that car. Before the cameras go off, Kenna says it would have been a better idea to have waited and gone the next day. No shit, Kenna. And people wonder why I have trust issues. To watch the story unfold live, tune into Saves vs. Death every Saturday at 8:30 Eastern at twitch.tv/Saves vs. Death. If you can't watch live, be sure to subscribe to the Saves vs. Death channel on YouTube so you can watch it as soon as the recording is released. You can also always download it as a podcast. Stay safe, Cyberpunks. This has been your Night City Recap with Moxie 11.